Okay, it was good to be out here on a Monday night, and thought the energy was really good as we got going early in practice. I thought we started just a little bit slow, but I didn't have to say a lot. I think they felt it and they picked it up, and it ended up being a really crisp, productive practice. Once again, I thought Brett looked really good. I thought Powasi continues to make strides at that right tackle position. Um, We had Malcolm out there doing a little bit, got to get him going. It's certainly going to be a couple of days before he's really up to speed. Um, but I thought it was a really good practice for us. And, it's a long day for these guys. We started with meetings this morning at 7, but that's okay. I like the fact that we practice at different times of the day. You got to be ready to play at different times of the day. So that's just part of the learning process. So it was a good, productive day for us.
In his limited work, what was your impressions of Malcolm?
I didn't watch him a lot. I watched him a couple steps. It looked to me like he was struggling a little bit, like you'd think. He hadn't played for a while. He wasn't in our winter program, so he's going to be a little bit behind. But the thing about Malcolm is he's very mature. He's very smart. He wants it really bad. He works hard. He's got a great attitude. And I think some of the freshmen, what you'll see is they'll start to fall off a little bit. They'll get tired. They'll get worn down a little bit. I think what you'll see with Malcolm is Malcolm will start to ascend every practice just because he's getting his rhythm back. So I'm really happy he's here. He gives us another big body. He gives us that experienced offensive lineman that we need. And he's acted a little bit as a mentor to some of those guys as well in his own quiet way. So I appreciate that he's here.
Is the initial plan for him at left guard?
Yeah, he's going to be a guard for us. Yeah, and that was always the plan. I'm sorry, it was always the plan. I think that when you look at the position type, the body types, and you look at the position parameters, what we're looking for in players, Powasi's a tackle. That's all he is. He's a tackle, and he's going to be a really, really good tackle. You look at Malcolm, and he's got a tackle body type, but he's got guard girth, and he can bend a little bit. You look at Najee and Scotty Quisenberry and Brindle and Hulick, and Alex Redmond, and those guys are more inside guys. You look at the way Caleb's playing with his length, and he's an outside guy. So you're kind of looking for body types. You're looking for bend, in the waist and the knees, even in the ankles. And so I think we're set up pretty well. I like the way we look on the offensive line. I've been impressed with those guys so far.
Have you noticed Eldridge at all this first week and a half?
Yeah, primarily when we get down in tight in the red zone. He's a big body for Brett to throw to. As a matter of fact, 2 days ago, Brett threw a ball out we were on this field on the sideline to his left, and when he looked covered, Eldridge looked covered, and Brett just threw it over the DB's head, and Eldridge went up and caught it. He came back and said, "That's a nice big target for me because I can just throw it up there," and he goes and gets it. And then you saw it in the red zone some. He uses his body well. He just got enough little push off in there to create a little separation, and every day he's going to get better and better. If you think about Eldridge, last spring he was limited. He was fairly limited during the fall. And then during the season, he was always on scout team. So he was never running our plays with our quarterbacks. He was always, playing the role of our opponent's receivers. So I think you're just going to see him get better and better, and he works at it. Did you see him take on Miles in the first? So it was funny, and it was great. I mean, it kind of shows you the mindset of Eldridge. This morning's meeting, we said, hey, we're going to do our Pride Alley deal, our Oklahoma drill. And I said, who wants to go first? And Eldridge. I said, all right, call it out. Who do you want? He says, I want Miles. I told him before practice, I'm going to get life flight over here and have him ready. But he did well. I like his attitude. He's tough. He's aggressive. He likes to compete.
Zach was outside linebacker.
Yeah, we moved him around a little. We're going to do some experimenting there and try to find the right person to play opposite Miles. And Zach's got length. He's got really long arms. He can separate. It's just, there's competition there. I don't want anyone to assume that anyone's got the job. And so I think between Kenny and Dion and Zach and whomever else shows up, there's going to be strong competition out there. But we want to get the 4 best players on the field, and part of that is moving guys around a little bit.
How far behind, just because he hasn't been here, is Zach from maybe Kenny and Dion and that sort of thing?
Well, from a mental standpoint, he is. He doesn't know the ins and outs of the defense as well. And then I think from a physical standpoint, the first 3 days, The first day he was good. The second 2 days he fell off a little bit. Today he came back stronger. You know, I think he's the type of kid that the more work he gets, the further along we go into spring, he's going to start to get stronger. I don't think he's going to be the typical freshman that falls off. I mean, this is a determined kid. I mean, you guys have seen him. I mean, he just, you know, he is bound and determined to win that job and be an impact player. I love that about him.
Is there a recovery timeline for Ben Wasashi?
I don't know that yet. I don't know it, but thankfully it wasn't broken. It was, they call it a moderate medial sprain. I got part of it right. I'm missing a word in there somewhere. But Ben, I don't know if he'll be back this spring, but at least it wasn't broken. So, okay?
Cool.
All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate you being out here.